I've been growing my hair. I've been growing my hair since I was 16 years old, and I'm now 33. And throughout the years, I've been corrected and told whether I should refer to them as locks or dreads. Growing up, what did you hear this hairstyle referred to? Hell no, you can't touch my hair.
I want to shed clarity on the notion that we shouldn't call locks dreads. I've seen countless memes differentiating the two, as well as pro-black teachers and influencers teach that this term is negative or make claims about its history. The Mau Mau of Kenya were fierce warriors. They were skilled in their guerrilla warfare against the British Army, real militants, real iconoclasts. They locked their hair and it wasn't the prim and proper fashion locks. They took pride not only in their appearance, but more importantly, their energy being dreadful. Now, early followers of Leonard Howell, a key proponent of the Black liberation movement, Rasta, not only adopted the hair, they adopted the philosophy. It was a compliment to say that you're putting dread, you're putting fear into the system, you're shaking up Babylon. You are a paradigm shifter. This is why we have popular artists such as Bob Marley sing Buffalo Soldier, Dreadlock Rasta, or reggae artist Chronix label an entire album called Dread and Terrible.
Number one, have we been calling it wrong, black folks? Have we universalized our connotations to words and our own struggles? Are we acting like our white counterparts in America as if the only values and standards that matter is ours? Are we lost in the sauce of American hegemony?
That is the question we needed to answer.
It's a question we gotta ask. Do we as African Americans think that our values and perspectives are the only that matters within the diaspora?
You don't often see white boys with the dreadlocks.
Number two, did you know that the Mau Mau of Kenya regarded dreadlocks as being a symbol of love and self-acceptance? Number three, I recognize that many black folks will find this video as dreadful and terrible because it goes against the teachings of us being able to police individuals.
But shit locks?
Our hair being seen as dreadful. That's why we think people is called locks. However, there are multiple interpretations or multiple experiences in existence of our hair throughout the diaspora. Number four, us as black people have had language and rhetoric weaponized against us so much that we know how people use words can literally call into question our life or our freedom. So we've become linguists, you see what I'm saying, out of survival. So when we hear the idea of dreadlocks, you feel me? We think of the European idea of being dreadful. So we're very vigilant in how people say anything in our existence is dreadful. You know what I'm saying? Making sure we tap into the reasoning why so many black folks would be like, nah, these is locks. These ain't no dreads. As African Americans, we seek to reclaim the history on our own terms and emphasize the cultural and historical aspects rather than any negative connotations. Some people prefer to use the term locks. It's a way to create a more positive and culturally affirming name for lifestyle. Locks may be also used to emphasize the localized and personalized nature of the hairstyle. It signifies a sense of ownership and individuality, as locks, or dreads as some would put it, can vary widely in size, shape, and maintenance practices, reflecting personal choices and cultural connotation. Ultimately, you feel me? The shift from dreadlocks to locks represent a desire for cultural autonomy, positive representation, and a deeper connection to the rich history and significance of the hairstyle within the African diaspora. You understand? Number five, in the US of A, many of us have had different notions of cleanliness and professionalism weaponized against how we wear our hair in different settings. This impacts how we feed ourselves, how we're able to experience upward mobility, and our overall sense of self. Number six, typically, I'm not invested or I don't care about if white folks wear dreads or not. But if you want my opinion on it,
I do. It's just a way for you to seem interesting to girls because deep down you know you're boring and pretentious, just like your stupid fucking dreadlocks, which, by the way, always look embarrassing on white people.
Typically it don't look that good, but I have seen a few white folks who's been able to pull off the style, you know what I'm saying?
White Iverson.
Where it look pretty smooth, it look pretty cool, you know what I mean? Make sure we keep that scalp looking real nice and moisturized. Number seven, education is elevation. And here goes a clip with more historical context.
During the time of the civil rights movement in 1954, The awakening of freedom and the ideology of freedom became so predominant in the United States of America with black people, which coincided with the movement of freedom in Africa, mainly the Mau Mau culture. And the Mau Mau vowed not to cut their hair as a show until the white man leaves their land. And so that idea where dreadlocks becomes a symbol of freedom gets transferred into the Caribbean, into Jamaica, and ultimately into the United States of Africa. And we see how dreadlocks become an identity of free people.
Number 8, according to Dr. Sheshmel Alum, the connection between Rastafarianism and Mau Mau is less well known but quite significant. Mau Mau fighters always wore beards and dreadlocks. Many believe the Mau Mau fighters vowed to not cut their hair or shave until the colonists were defeated. The Rastafarians in Jamaica started wearing the hairstyle after watching Mau Mau fighters whose dreadlocks had become a symbol of resistance and liberation. Number 9, black hair is political. Throughout history, there have been societal norms that uplift European beauty standards that don't encompass the different textures and different hairstyles or expressions within the black diaspora, especially amongst black folks in America. As a result, it's led to different bias, discriminations, policy, and legislation that literally criminalizes how our hair naturally grows from our scalps, whether we're talking about the workplace or the schoolhouse. Number 10, throughout the black experience, cultural bias against black hair has led to the inherent politicization of our hairstyles. Whether we're talking about the natural hairstyles of afros or locks, we can acknowledge that the embracing of these hairstyles has led to a little cultural identity and being able to challenge different societal norms, whether we're talking about white supremacy or anti-blackness, trying to embrace the roots. By trying to challenge different stereotypes and societal norms that say that the way that black people want to express themselves through our hair is unprofessional or unconducive to us being productive. You know what I'm saying? My grandpa always said that money talking and bullshit walks. And we trying to show y'all that we can do our job regardless of our hairstyle. In the words of India, I read, I am not my hair. I can't do it. Number 11, nowhere in this video am I arguing, teaching, or making the claim that people of African descent came up with the origins or invented dreadlocks, dreads, or locks, whatever you want to call them. My only argument is that the way in which how black people's hair grows throughout the different textures, there is something unique about how our hair mats and also the political implications of how our hair is perceived. I'm not arguing that black people invented dreads in no way, shape, or fashion. Comment section, don't play with me, man. Number 12, the true origins of dreadlocks is heavily debated to this day because it has cultural significance throughout history amongst many different groups of people. We can acknowledge that there is a rich history of dreadlocks dealing with the Hindus, the Egyptians, and different Native American tribes. We know that we can trace 25,000 years ago to the Hindi god Shiva, but we know that in contemporary times, especially in the Western world, dreadlock seen as a symbol of Rastafarians and different people of African descent. All hair textures eventually clump and mat together if left uncombed or without relaxers for a long period of time. The uniqueness of being your hair being much more coarse means that your hair will lock easier and quicker, as opposed to having thin hair, less coarse hair, which takes longer to lock and more manipulation. Bob Marley said, to tell you the truth, all you got to do is leave it, wash it, don't comb it, and clean it, and it'll dreadlock itself. That's what Bob Marley said. From my perspective and opinion, you can call hair whatever you want to call it, as long as you're referring to the person's hair in their preferred name. You know what I'm saying? In the name of inclusivity and diversity. What we know, though, is that the multiplicity of blackness and black people, it varies throughout the diaspora. Different black folks have different names for different hairstyles that might be the same in a different culture or a different national context. It's all about respecting that black people and black experiences or not a monolith, not only within America, but throughout the diaspora. What we know is when it comes to how this crown, you feel me, is perceived throughout history or even now in society, there might be different implications for how different folks wear their hair. Education is elevation. I'll holler at you.
Do the drink. All right, man. Shabba. Shabba ranks. Shabba ranks. Shabba.